And we're back, and with me is Senator Kevin Witkos. Here we are in the last few days of action here before the closure of the session. It's good to see you, Senator. How are you?
As well. I'm doing great, thanks.
Well, you know, a day off, or a bit of a day off, and everybody seems fresh. Tomorrow, it's going to be another story.
We recharge the batteries, and they have to last for 72 hours now.
They sure do. And that's a long battery, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I know that you were not terribly thrilled with what happened with the budget. Some things turned out positively for your interests and what you perceive to be your constituents' interests.
Yeah, we did some good things up here. The budget's bad. We'll have to be dealing with that especially in the next 2 years. Looking at billions of dollars in deficits. But we did do some good things. I think that'll benefit the state of Connecticut. And one of them was surprising to me was the funding that the state offered of $400 million to United Technologies Corporation.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I think a lot of people looked at that distantly without knowing all the parameters of it and said to themselves, wait a minute, UTC makes billions on their own. Why should we be paying them $450 million more?
I've never been a supporter of corporate government bailouts, but this is one company that, a couple of different things. They're the largest private employer in the state of Connecticut, the largest, outside of the state of Connecticut, which is the public, but they're the second largest employer in the state of Connecticut. While we're investing $400 million over I think it's a 10-year period, UTC is investing $500 million of their capital into constructing a new corporate headquarters, which will in turn have more research and development, which will invest close to $4 billion in our economy over the next 20 years. But more importantly, there's over 3,500 separate subcontractors that do work for United Technologies here located in the state of Connecticut, and 700 companies have contracts of $100,000 or more with UTC. So if they decided up and move, which is a very close reality that could happen, it would just decimate our economy here in Connecticut.
So this is kind of a domino thing. If the big domino pulls out, those little dominoes that feed off it are in real trouble.
Absolutely, and folks
which means us.
Yeah, and people that think, oh, they would never move. Look at Lockheed Martin, which moved from, I think it was from California to South Carolina. They moved this entire corporation that builds, planes. It can be done, and business is going to go where it's cheaper to do business. And we all know that Connecticut's not the most friendly business state.
But the second highest employer of Connecticut folks, that is very significant all the way around.
Tens of thousands of employees that they employ over at United Technology Corp.
Okay.
And imagine adding those folks to the unemployed rolls.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They say all politics is local, and indeed, what is more local for those folks who have wells and have problems with those wells?
Sure, one of the things that came to light over the course of the summer was last year we had a budget battle, and the state decided to eliminate a program which would provide portable water to homes of folks that have contaminated wells. And so all these homeowners now are faced with a monthly water bill that they had to go out and buy their water just to drink, to shower, to do what have you. And so myself and the rest of the Torrington contingent were able to work out a means of providing water from the Torrington Water Company to these homes. Hopefully we'll get that worked out by December, and then they'll have nice, clean drinking water, once again, like everybody else should have. And so that's one thing that government is good for.
Yeah, you see, it can work. The supplying of water comes in what form? Are we bottling it, or are we cleaning up the wells?
Well, what we're doing is they're going to be a part of the Torrington Water Company distribution rather than having a well at their own house, which they have now. Yep. They're contaminated, and the reason why we're helping them out is that we can't find the source of the contamination. We know it was man-made, but we just don't know where it was coming from. So we can't go after the person to pay for this to be done. So the state's coming up with a program working with the Torrington Water Company to run a main down the street, and the homeowners can tap in so they can rely and sleep well at night, rest their head on their pillow, knowing that the water that their children are drinking and cooking with is safe.
Well, as I suggested earlier, there's nothing more important than water when you come right down to it. So to be saving folks.
One of the things you need in order to survive. You can go without eating, but you have to have water.
That's right. That's right. Well, a couple of bright spots out of this whole thing, and you've got a lot of work to be doing in the next couple of days.
It's going to be busy, We're working on things fast and furious upstairs.
I'm so glad you could stop by. We really appreciate it. Senator Kevin Witkos, our guest from the 8th District, and lots of work for him and the rest of the legislators here. That's all we've got for right now, but we've got more coming up for you. I'm David Smith. Stay with us.